Hi and welcome to the High Throne of Ireland, the walkthrough on Tabletopia. The High Throne of Ireland is a card and dice game set in ancient Ireland, mythical and historical. It's played between 2 and 6 players. Probably the best amount of players is 4. The way you win is by collecting these ancient cards. On each of the cards, there are points in the top right hand corner, and the more points you have at the end of the game, you add them all up, and whoever has the most wins. To gain the cards, you roll your dice and you try and match up the symbols on the card. They are in lines, so this is one line and then this is another line, and you fulfill those lines separately. You can do them whichever way you want. You don't have to do them like from top to bottom or whatever, any way you like, but you have to fulfill a full line. So when I roll, I'd need to have 2 trees. I would then place those dice on the card and roll again, and I would to gain this card, I'd have to get 2 knots at the same time. So let's just do a little demo of that. To select all the dice, I press Shift, left click on my mouse and drag, and I select all the dice. Press R for roll, and I roll. I then have a quick look of what I have on the dice and then choose which card would be good to go for. So I'm going to go for the Giant's Causeway. A nice hard card, but a high scoring card to get. And I have placed it down, as you can see here. And once you place the dice on the card, you have to go for that card. You can't change and go for another card. So I've fulfilled the middle line. You can go for the lines in any which way you want. So I have the knot and the tree, which is those 2 there. So I have that, and now I can go again. So I click and drag, press R, and there we go. I am unfortunate. Oh, I have the spiral. So I click the spiral. So the only last line I need to get now is 6 spears. So fingers crossed I can get that. Roll, and 5 spears. Okay, this is good. So I haven't been able to get the 6, so I have to use, like I did there, the dice, or lose a dice. So I can't use, so I lose 1 dice and keep rolling. Excellent. Okay, so I've got 6 spears, so let's click on one, press Shift, click the other, and I can group drag. There you go. So I fulfilled all the different symbols there. Now I own this card. I press Shift and click all the dice. I can move them there. I'm playing as blue now, so the board is split into different sections. Here you can see the red and blue, green, and so on. I am playing in the blue section. I click and drag that into my section. So now I have 3 points, and that's my card. And now it would be somebody else's turn. And they have a choice of what they want to do. They roll, and then they can either go for another region card, they can go for a hero card, which I'll explain now in a second, or they can try and steal my card. Stealing a card is done exactly the same way as gaining a card from the center. You try to fulfill all the different symbols on each line here, but you also have to gain the top spiral in the top left hand corner of the card as well. It's always a spiral, and you have to gain that as well. So if the person was doing it, they would select this and roll again, and so on and so on and so on. And at the very end, they would also have to gain the spiral. Sorry, not at the very end. You can go for the spiral at any time, just like any of the other lines, but you also have to fulfill that. So, and that is how you do that. If you, that's how you steal. If you do gain the card and steal it, just drag it over to your section. If you get all the colors of one particular region, you drag them all into your section, and you can press F, and they are you turn the cards face down, which means nobody can steal those cards. They're locked in, and you get extra points for yourself as well. Ulster has 8, Leinster has the most with 10, Tara has 8, Munster has 5, Connacht 4, and Turn and Oak by itself has 3, so when you gain it you can turn it over straight away. The objective cards, I'll go to them next. So at the very beginning, the way you start the game is by drawing the objective cards. That before you do anything else, you draw 2 objective cards. So to do that, if you hover your card over, if you hover your cursor over the cards, right click, go down to draw, and then select 2. 2 cards will automatically go into your hand. To view the cards, because they're quite small, press spacebar, and you can view the card and read what it says. Hold Turn and Oak at the end of the game and you gain 3 extra points. Cool, and I'll have a look at the other one. Hold all of the Ulster cards at the end of the game and you get 4 extra points. I like that, so I'm going to go for that one. So what I do is you choose between the 2 cards that you drew, which one you want. You discard the other one, so you hover over, press F, and it flips it over. Then click and drag onto the screen into a discard pile. You have this in your hand, so you can just keep it in your hand, click your avatar and it'll disappear, but just remember it's there. You click again, it'll reappear. Press spacebar anytime you want to read it, or you can flip it over, click and drag into your space, and it's there for the game, and you can reveal it at the end if you have it or not. So the last thing to show you is the special ability cards, the hero cards. So we have 6 of them. There is Fionn McCool, Cuchulainn, the Morrigan, Fianna, Danu, and Lug, all mythical and historical creatures from Ireland. Each one gives a different type. Well, these 3 give you add an extra red dice to your roll. The red dice is exactly the same as all the other dice as well, has all the same symbols and everything, and you can roll it the same. The only difference is if it lands on the spiral, then you can turn that spiral into any other symbol you choose. Or you can use it just as a spiral. You can do whatever you want with it, but only if it lands on a spiral. You can't. If it lands on a tree, it has to be a tree. But if it lands on a spiral, you can change it to anything you like. So it's a very powerful card. So the 3 of them give that power of using that. The Fianna, they reroll any 3 dice per turn. So you can group them together, use reroll 3 at the same time, or you can use 1 in one roll, 1 in another roll, and 1 in another roll, or 2, or whatever, whichever way you way. But you can only do 3 once per turn. Danu gives you a +1 spear to any result per turn. Only once during your turn, and you can just add a +1. And Lug or Lu, I've heard it pronounced both ways. If you gain this card, you get to use the extra dice. If you say you gain it the same way as you gain the other dice, you roll, and if you get all the symbols separately, then you get to click and drag it into your space. You would get to use this, so you click it there, and that's there for the entirety of the game. Nobody can steal this card, and you can't go and choose another card. Once you have it, it's yours, and you can't choose another. That is very basically it. A lot of diplomacy is used, and you kind of soften people up to talk them into attacking other people and not stealing your cards and so on. It's a lot of fun. I really hope you enjoy it, and if you have any questions, just get in contact and I will answer them. Thank you very much. Bye.